Hello and welcome to another edition of the ISV podcast. I'm your host Sahil, flying solo today, but that doesn't stop another day of Copa America. Here we are in the second round of the group stage, or the second round of match days, I should say, in the group stage. And we've just completed that second round. So finishing with Group D, which were today. And I got to say, there were a lot of goals today, which for those people who like goals out there, here the goals came finally in Group D, which is, of course, the group with Colombia, Paraguay, Brazil, and Costa Rica. So let's talk about what happened in each of these matches. So you see the score there, 3-0 to Costa Rica. Paraguay lost 4-1 to Brazil. However, I want to talk about the Brazil match a little bit because it wasn't as clean as the score would let you believe. For 35 minutes, Brazil was actually struggling a little bit to break down Paraguay. And then things started to open up a little bit after Paraguay gave up a penalty. Luis Paqueta actually ended up missing, sending it into the wide right. He completely missed it. But then Vinny Jr. had a nice move on his own, and that started the scoring. And then really, Paraguay made a lot of mistakes in this match, and I got to talk about him, especially the one right before the half. A defender just playing awful defense and kicking it off Vinny Jr., basically turning right into Vinny Jr. when he should really have kicked it out for a corner. And that really changed the momentum of the match, I think. Then, though, what happened is right after the second half, Paraguay scored a golazo. And after that, Paraguay actually was dominating, actually, at that point in time. And that's when the Paraguayan defender made an unfortunate mistake. And this is what Paraguay needs to work on: is put your hand, instead of having your hand fly out over here when defending, put it closer, man. Put it closer, because the ball hit his hand, and Luis Paqueta, second time around, made up for his first missed penalty, put it away, and that was the game, set, match there. So before we start saying, oh, Brazil is back, I don't think we should say that yet. I've now watched them twice. I watched them in the stadium at SoFi in Los Angeles, and this game on TV, and I think there's a lot that we haven't seen from Brazil, and there's a lot to be desired from Brazil. Colombia, on the other hand, had a extremely dominant performance from front to back. Luis Diaz was excellent. James was excellent. Their defenders were excellent. The midfielders were excellent. Everyone was excellent, in my opinion. It was a complete performance. And the Costa Rica team, which Brazil struggled to break down, Colombia was all over them. They missed some breakaways as well. And of course, Sanchez getting a goal after he had 3 opportunities. He finally knocked one in. So what does that mean? What am I going to say? I'm going to make a controversial statement that Colombia is the best team at the Copa America. Perhaps it's not that controversial because this team hasn't lost in 2 years. But in my opinion, this is the best team at Copa America. Now, does that mean they're going to win Copa America? No, that's not what I'm saying. There's a lot that it takes to win. Certain things have to go your way. Could they go out and lose to Brazil next game? It's possible. Could Argentina beat them somewhere down the line based on the way the ball rolls, or the way the rub of the pitch on that particular day? Yes, it's possible they could lose. But in my opinion, this is the best team. The balls that they're making, they're basically, cross-field passes. Luis Diaz seeing players running on the other side. James orchestrating stuff in the midfield. It's a well-oiled machine that hasn't lost in a while. And I see only an off day by them, or an excellent performance by another team, or of course some luck that will prevent this team from winning Copa America. And like I said, those are all factors that come into play when winning major tournaments. So I'm not saying they're going to win, but in my opinion, they are the best team. Now, if I were to rank now that we've seen all the teams, play twice, in order, I would say Colombia, Los Cafeteros, number 1. Number 2, Argentina. Number 3, Uruguay. And number 4, I'll give it to Brazil, but I would say Venezuela is a close 4 or 5 right there. So I'd say that's pretty even, and then it just kind of tails off after that. I think, I don't want to talk about the CONCACAF teams. My USA team don't want to talk about, and don't want to talk about Canada or Mexico, because there's not a lot that's been good from any of the teams so far in that capacity. Let's see how they all finish in the last match day. Now, this last match day is going to be very interesting for the teams that have already qualified because you have Colombia already qualified. So, how will they approach this Brazil match? It's going to be very interesting because Brazil has a lot to play for in the sense that they have not officially qualified. They're basically through thanks to the goal difference, but they haven't officially qualified. So, they're going to need some kind of result. Now, Colombia, what do? Do you just say, okay, we go out there, we rest some players. If we lose, and we take the second spot? Or are they going to go fight for the top spot? I'll never forget there was a tournament when 2014 in the Brazil World Cup where Colombia looked very good. They beat Uruguay in a knockout match in the World Cup, and then they had to play Brazil in the next match, and we thought a lot was going to come of that particular team at that point in time, and Brazil ended up winning. So I'm seeing similar situations because this Colombia team reminds me of that Colombia team, which is very good. That was Hamas in his prime, his standout tournament. But can they do it? Can they do it here? So fans out there, you tell us, who is your favorite so far in the Copa America? Who's been playing the best? Is it Colombia? Do you agree with me? Is it Argentina? Is it Brazil? I don't know how you could say that, but sure. We'll hear what you have to say. Put it in the comments and let's have a discussion about it as Copa America continues now into the last round of match days for the group stage. Who will make it out of the group? And there's a lot to be determined in terms of positions as well. So if you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with another day of Copa America recaps, reviews, our take tomorrow. Vamos Copa America. Vamos, the beautiful game. Let's go.